Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Thursday night here, at least in the United States. No, the stormtrooper says he's in the Philippines. It's 11 a.m., so it's Friday morning for him. This is Two Guys Tech, our tech weekend tech news,
Sure.
our version of the tech news. That's for sure. John,
Hi.
hey, how you doing?
Good. How are
Doing
you?
good. Jamie, hello. Thank you for joining us. And Paul's on. Everybody, well, it's great. Okay,
Boom.
it's great. It's awesome. John,
Yes.
because I opened, you get to go first.
All right.
All right,
All right.
you start.
All right. So we're gonna talk about the Mandalorian really quick. I know this is a bit kind of old news, Mandalorian, but
What is the Mandalorian?
it is a Star Wars show on Disney Plus about the Mandalorians.
The Mandalorians.
The Mandalorians.
Is it all of the Mandalorians or just the one Mandalorian?
It's mainly focused on one Mandalorian.
He is the Mandalorian. Yes, he's
Yes,
half
half
of a
DeLorean.
vehicle.
Half man, half DeLorean. Thank you, Brandon.
Back to the Future. That was Brandon back there.
All right. I'm just gonna steal his joke for him. There's only two of us in here. Totally not a third. All right. Let's show some video or footage. What do I got here? I think I have pictures and a video
Do you? Okay. What are we starting with?
of whatever we got first.
I think we're starting with the video.
All right. So
And Paul, it's okay.
as Rich was saying, we're probably gonna get copyright straight for
Yeah,
showing this.
we're gonna get a all your monies goes to the Disney
All
for
right.
this
So
one. Whatever.
basically, what they're talking about is instead of having a green screen, you're looking at a giant LED wall and LED ceiling that is 21 by 75 feet across.
That's it right there.
That is huge.
That is huge.
So, a lot of jokes with the prequels was these actors are
That
just
is sick.
yeah,
It's seriously sick.
they're trying to imagine what the graphic designers were coming up with. Like, oh, okay, there's a giant wall and things are exploding everywhere. In this is actually
So there, thank you for joining us. Good to see you.
so this is all pre-rendered stuff, and they actually have the sets included with it.
Right.
And the cool thing is because the lighting is also dynamic, so like everything reflects off of the helmets and like the guns
It's
and
all
like
real.
everything is there.
Yeah.
And while they're filming, if they decide like, hey, this set isn't quite working, I mean they can change it on the spot.
And that
mean,
is sick, isn't
And
it?
they could have a certain time of night and just have it stick there. So
or
like
day.
imagine like a sunset, the sun drops pretty fast once it reaches the horizon, you got beautiful lighting, and it's gone. You're like, okay, I guess we have to try this again tomorrow. This, like, you can just set the sun to whatever time you want, and it is there for a 10-hour shoot, however long the shoot would be.
I think
So
that
pretty neat.
the thing that really strikes me about this is that it allows the actors. Like I've always wondered, like
Yes.
when actors are like looking at
They
like
don't have to pretend it's not.
yeah, it's not. They don't have to pretend. They can look at something, right? For them, they might actually feel like they're in space
Yeah, for sure.
or wherever
There's a cool shot coming up where they just act like this is completely normal. Like there's no smiles. They're just like, oh, it's just work. And they have a shot where they're showing like the Millennium Falcon like light speed shot, and everyone on the set just kind of stops, turns around, and smiles. I love it. It is just so crazy.
That's
looking.
awesome. Yeah,
But
that is sick. I mean, really. I mean, this.
so this is new, and Jon Favreau is the shot he was on the screen here is talking about how now they're actually trying to design sets around this now because it's just working so well. So they're kind of this is just the beginning of them knowing what they can do with this technology.
That's super cool.
So
That is super cool. I mean, really, we're talking about augmented reality for actors,
yeah,
right?
and like right here, see they're moving this whole mountainside. Like
That mountain's not big enough. We need more mountain.
So like this isn't working for us. Let's move it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. The dynamic lighting too just totally sells it. It's
That
like
is-
RTX in real life.
RTX on,
Yes,
off, on.
but then that's
Anyway,
what
that I gotta say that is awesome. It
It
really
is.
is. I just want that for my house.
For some reason, Diagon said John is a genius. I don't know why, but
He's not a genius.
Thank you.
He's not a genius.
Totally a genius.
But I want that for my own. I want my house, the walls. Someday in the future,
Yeah.
I want my walls painted with LED like screens,
yeah,
LCD screens, whatever. I want them to be like, oh, if I want to see like a sunset. Think about it. We're sitting here in the studio. What if the wall could just turn into, I don't know, anything we wanted? That'd be sweet, right?
that would be sweet.
Hi, Nancy. Thank you for joining us.
No,
So, should move on.
my chat's not working as usual. I did something. I'm a genius.
He's like, oh, I'm not logged in.
Apple genius.
Okay. All right. Should we move on to mine?
Let's do it.
Because this is where I think Paul and I are going to have a disagreement right here.
Oh, God.
Okay. We all knew, and this is, we're doubling up on the Mandalorian whatever's here. We all knew that Baby Yoda toys were coming, right?
Yeah,
if you didn't know that Baby Yoda toys were coming, then you should have just not gone to Etsy and looked at all the people who were making like knitted Baby Yodas and totally ripping off, I don't know, whatever. There's now real like Hasbro Baby Yodas coming out, right? And I'm going to show you what the Hasbro Disney Plus Baby Yoda looks like. We're going to talk about it.
It's going to be creepy. I guarantee it.
Yeah, you're right. Okay.
It's gonna be creepy.
My account's too. Okay, here we go. And yes, I actually am including the audio with this so you can hear it say, ooh, ah, nee, ooh.
Please stop.
Yee.
Please stop. Oh, man.
Give it a bracelet. Give it a necklace. Oh, necklace. Digon's already pre-ordered it. Oh my god.
Dude,
what? Somebody in the audience was gonna say this, and I knew it would be Digon. I had a feeling. So, guys, I just thought. Oh, I'm sorry. I just thought Baby Yoda was okay. I'm gonna get total flack for this, but yeah, it's Tickle Me Elmo rebranded. That's great. That's a great way to describe it. It is Tickle Me Elmo for the next generation, with like necklaces and stuff. So I have actual notes. Should I read the notes? I'll read the notes.
How do you have notes on a Yoda doll?
All right. So you won't be able to buy it till the fall unless you're
So this is a Christmas thing.
It is, and it's going to explode. You can imagine they're not going to be able to make these things fast enough, right?
That's why they're probably already making them up until fall.
Yeah, exactly. The factories are just like churning them out right now, putting them in cargo containers. Amazon says it's available on the 15th of December. That's the release date. There's still more details to come. It will set you back a whole $60 US. Yoda is cute, yes. I think it's dumb. I just want to be straight up with you guys. I think that it's a straight up cash grab, and it's like a Furby. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, where is this being made?
It's being made in China. Of course it is.
Oh.
I mean, where else is it being made? And yeah, no, it's when you press it, it goes. Oh.
Don't ever do that again.
I'm sorry, baby. Yeah, there's anyway. Okay, so back to this. Okay, so the one in the video is not actually the real one. The real one doesn't exist yet.
Oh.
That's a prototype. So you tap its little head, and the only reason why in that video the boy who is I'm gonna go back to that. Let's look at the look on this kid's face. He taps it once, and he doesn't touch it again, and that's because it'll probably break if he taps it again.
I doubt it was even a kid. It was like.
Oh, look at him. He's just like, oh, just gingerly put that on its hand. He doesn't actually interact with it, and he might not.
The kid is actually Yoda. Has a green screen behind him.
Yeah, he's not actually there.
No, the kid didn't even have a doll.
And it sleeps, and I bet it snores too. Anyway, that's not real. That is actually a not mock-up, what do they call it? It's a prototype. And I just want to say, you can expect a ton of this Yoda junk to be just flying off the shelves. Hasbro and Disney have plushies coming. Funko's making more plastic crap for Yoda. Funko crap, plastic crap. By the way, I'm not a fan of Funko products either. Whatever. And I'm just not. Just get off my lawn, you darn kids. And don't forget, you can buy tons of bootleg Yoda stuff off of Etsy anytime you want, right?
Yeah.
Etsy's where they're just cranking
out. As long
out.
as it's knitted.
Or, yeah.
Or 3D
exactly.
printed. Or...
obviously, I did find something interesting out, and that is that the reason why there are no Yoda toys now is because the Disney specifically made a decision not to make Yoda toys ahead of and for the first Mandalorian. They totally knew it was going to take off because they didn't want to spoil the Mandalorian. Like they made a calculated decision to be like, if we just hold on to it a little bit longer, we'll make so much more money. And it worked. So when Mandalorian, the second season comes out, Mandalorian 2, the Mandalorian
2. There's not going to be season 2. Mandalorian 2.
The re-Mandalorian, right?
There will be blood.
You can snuggle with your Baby Yoda on the couch and watch the Mandalorian Part 2. And by the way, I mean, I hate the thing. Prove me wrong. That's all I gotta say.
Prove you wrong. You hate it. You really have to prove that Rich hates something.
No, I mean, like, tell me why I shouldn't hate it. What did Paul say? Probably touchscreen steer box that they used to interact.
No, seriously,
Yeah,
that's exactly what it looked like.
Yeah, it's just like.
They're like, kid, we need you to look super happy.
Boop.
Dude, I said, don't ever do that
I'm
again.
sorry, I can't help it. It's great.
No, it's
the
not.
noises it makes are great because anyone can make those noises, and I bet you anything right now. I'm sorry, Sub-Air. He's complaining about his ears. Everybody's making those noises right now. Not you, but everyone else is saying them. Dagon's gonna walk in and he's gonna be like, "Ooh, wee." It's like an Ewok, kind of, right? No, Ewoks are different. But anyway, they're coming. Buckle up. John, you want to talk about something else?
Yeah.
Let's talk about something else.
All right, if this was the evening news, this would be the feel-good story.
Hold on. Paul still thinks the toy is cute. Paul thinks that it's worth the smiles, and he's right. It's cute. I don't.
Send us some pictures.
Yeah, I want to see.
I want to see like you doing the expression on your Instagram story of that kid touching the doll.
Yeah, would you please like that?
Meanwhile, detectives are going to be like, "Where did the mean man touch you?" All right, so
Tell me, little Yoda doll.
all right, so let's get on to the happy feel-good story.
Thank you, John, for that. Thank you very much. That was
Anytime.
Nice. I love it. Oh my God.
So, apparently, people still use the original Game Boy. In fact, it's You okay?
I'm
there?
good. I'm good. I'm good.
You okay?
I'm good. I just hope they don't use those dolls in that scenario. Dagon's down. He's gonna put it in his Instagrams.
Do it.
Let's see it. Okay.
I want to see like a green screen. You're a photographer. Green
Yeah,
screen box.
you're an incredible photographer. You can make it work.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right, please.
All right. So basically, someone's 95-year-old mom was a big fan.
95?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you be a mom at 95 or a grandmom?
It's probably grandma.
Okay.
All right. 95 years old. Her Game Boy broke. She loved Tetris, which I think we were talking about this earlier, that you were a giant Game Boy Tetris guy. I know I was, along with Zelda. And
Only Tetris. Only Tetris.
only Tetris, really.
Yeah, I thought that everything else was too not for me.
Man,
but
the Game Boy's got a ton of games,
I just
too.
right now when he said it, I heard this do 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 do.
Anywho. All right, we'll come back to this. We'll come back to that. So, basically, Game Boy broke. They heard that Nintendo has amazing customer service, and they wrote a letter to Nintendo saying, we don't have parts to repair 80s technology, but included with the letter was a brand new Game Boy that they found in a warehouse in a box still. Yeah, Brandon's like, what?
Tetris was king.
So,
Dagon agrees.
Anyhow, so apparently Nintendo just has Game Boys in a box in a warehouse somewhere.
It's got to be worth a lot of money. Like if I was that lady, I'd probably sell it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even open it.
Wouldn't even open
I'd be like untouched, you know.
So, okay, first question obviously is, how many of these things do Nintendo have?
Right.
And second,
how do we get one?
I'm in my 30s and I can't see the screen at all. I have an original Game Boy, I pulled it out, put batteries in it, and I was like, I'm going to play Tetris. I cannot see a thing on there. So, I mean, kudos to this lady for actually being able to play Tetris on a Game Boy from the 80s.
I want to play Paul's version, which is the Tetris.
Tetris?
No, it's Tetris.
Terrace.
I want to play Tetris.
Tetris.
We didn't have that version when I grew up. Sorry, dude.
All right.
It is actually kind of it's one of those heartwarming, like, did Nintendo seed this into the public to try to make their PR campaigns look good, right? Because it's like, you know, well, look what we did for this person. And you remember that the original Tetris, you could buy the magnifying glass to stick on the top of it?
You mean the original Game Boy?
Yeah. No, regular Game Boy had like a little, you could buy this like piece of plastic that had a
Oh yeah, I run the speakers on the side and the magnifying glass,
yeah,
and the light,
in the light because
and
they
the
didn't
battery pack because then it would kill the batteries immediately. Yes, our childhood was awesome.
So, okay, side moment here. What was your favorite Game Boy game then?
Tetris and Zelda. It was
You
kind
have
of
to choose one. Choose one here.
Probably Tetris.
Tetris.
It was probably Tetris.
It really was the Tetris thing.
I mean, there was a lot of great games for it. The Mario Brothers series was amazing, and yeah, Tetris though. I mean, you could just pick that up, and if you're interrupted at all, you could just turn it off.
Right.
Not a big deal. So, you know, as a kid, you get as much game time as possible. on the ride to wherever your parents are going at the time. You can
Right.
turn it off, no big deal. So
Right. I don't think I played a few other games, but honestly, I just thought everything else on there was not that great.
oh, you missed out then.
I don't know. I mean,
Did you ever play the Zelda series for that though?
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay, he didn't because he would have remembered because it was awesome.
All right, but even if I did, it wouldn't have been the best Zelda. What's the best Zelda, John?
It's up there. The Game Boy version, Link's Awakening, is up there. In fact, they remastered it and brought it to the Switch,
Which
I
made
believe.
it better because it was in color and it had good sound and it had nice graphics and it didn't look like it was from 1989.
All right, fair enough.
I mean,
what is your favorite Zelda then?
I really liked the Breath of the Wild, even though I played everything back to the original Zelda in the gold cartridge, right?
Okay, if you're gonna go with consoles versus a portable, I would probably say Wind Waker.
Nowadays, consoles are portables. Come on.
All right,
Get with the
all
times.
right, you got me there.
All right. So, yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think was your best Zelda? Let us know. Link to the Past was the best Zelda, is what Utopia says. And I don't know if she's right.
Brandon, ban that person right now.
I liked Wind Waker and the
I did.
Ocarina of Time.
I was
The
like, oh,
Macarena.
Ocarina.
The Macarena of Time.
Stop.
She's like, and that's how you kill Ganon.
Next.
Is you do the
That's how you
Macarena.
kill a topic.
That's Macarena of Time. Okay. I have something that's science and space related. Space!
Okay.
So, never played it. I don't hate you for that.
I do. You're
no.
dead to me.
You're dead to me. Let's talk about space. Did you know that satellites don't last forever, John?
Yes.
You did? I mean, you kind of figure, right?
I'm sure Russia has some nuclear-powered ones. That's
I
debatable.
think most of them actually are like a lot of them have like heaters in them that are actually little, basically little nuclear things that just produce heat.
Huh.
And that's how they keep them warm enough inside because at a certain point it's so cold. Did you know how cold space is?
I heard it's warm, like tropical.
It's really cold, actually.
Oh.
It's completely opposite of that. It's very cold. You don't want to be there without a coat on or a space
A
suit.
coat. Yes.
A space
Rich's space travel tips.
space coat.
Welcome to our YouTube channel. You should wear a coat.
When going to space, wear a
coat.
space coat.
This year, scarves are in.
You guys have space coats? I got a space coat. Anyway, let's get serious here. So for the first time ever, two commercial satellites, non-NASA, non-governmental satellites, docked together in space, and they weren't designed to do so. Well, I take that back. One of them wasn't designed to do so. The other satellite is made by Northrop Grumman, and it's got a really great like government like acronym name. It's Mission Extension Vehicle, also known as the MEV-1.
Oh, so this is like fixing satellites, I'm guessing.
Right, exactly. This is the beginning of like this burgeoning, like new industry in space where you want to prolong the life of an existing satellite that's floating around in there because they have a lifespan, right?
Yeah.
So Intellisat, which is a company that puts in like communication satellites out in space, they have a satellite called Intellisat 901 that spent 19 years, almost 19 years floating around in space.
They got their investment in.
That you would think it's almost dead, like it's almost out of gas.
Okay.
Fuel, ladies and gentlemen, it's called fuel. Anyway, and so they agreed to let Northrop Grumman fly up and have their satellite connect to it.
Can I recharge the battery? or
No,
something?
actually, it's going to become basically the propulsion system for that satellite.
Oh.
So most satellites, they got their solar panels and they're producing energy and they're doing their jobs, whatever their jobs are, reflecting communication, whatever. But when they run out of gas, they can't use propulsion to blow themselves around out in space. So this new satellite, this MEV-1, is physically connected. It flew up there, connected itself to that satellite, and it is flying it back into its orbit to be functional again. And it's going to extend the life of that satellite for another 5 years, and then it's going to drive it back down to an area that they call the graveyard orbit.
So the Atlantic Ocean, Pacific Ocean.
Basically the orbit where if it goes and decides to die, it's not going to slam into other satellites.
Right.
And eventually, tumble to Earth and burn up and all that kind of stuff. But how nuts is that?
That's pretty awesome, actually.
It is. It's super cool. It's just, I think it's nuts. So yeah, lots of details. I just went through most of them. But Northrop Grumman's going to send up another one in a couple months called MEV-2 because why not? Let's get creative with these names. And they're not the only company doing this. There's another company. This is interesting. There's another company called Astroscale, and they're working on building satellites. They're designed to fly up, grab another satellite, and bring it down and burn it up in the atmosphere. Not like
This sounds like very espionage.
You're right, but it's not that. It's more like, hey, we don't want this satellite to like die and like basically. Satellites fail all the time, right? Not all the time, but when they do fail, they become a risk to other satellites
Yeah, space junk.
or to people. right? And so to keep the space junk down, this company is planning to launch satellites to go up and grab onto satellites and pull them down into the Earth to burn up. That's nuts.
Someone's going to buy this company. And
Right.
it's not going to be to repair satellites.
He's like secretly working for the United States government.
This company is going to mysteriously disappear.
How cool is that?
That is pretty cool.
It's cool. Space! It's cool. That's all I gotta say. Should we move on, John?
Yes. All right, one of our favorite topics on this channel is how many different game launchers can you have?
Right.
However, one of our favorites is GOG. They have some great classics on there, and they have a new return policy.
Tell me about the return policy.
All right, so let's say you buy the first Diablo a month or two ago, and it didn't work on your computer.
Why wouldn't it work?
Let's just say there's some weird compatibility problem.
All right.
Because it is an old game,
All right.
and it doesn't work. GOG would return it. No problem. No questions asked.
Okay.
Doesn't work in your system, money back. However, they have decided that the return policy just wasn't cutting it, apparently, because now they're going to have a no questions asked return policy up to 30 days after purchase. And older games, let's face it, didn't have that long of a life. Like,
You think you could play through it in 30 days and send it back?
well, they're essentially saying please don't, but this is our return policy.
Please don't use us.
They actually, okay, this is on their website.
Okay.
Let's see here. I got a couple notes. Monitoring the effects of the current update to make sure no one. Okay, so they're monitoring the effects of the current update to make sure no one is using the policy to hurt the developers and put their time and heart into making great games.
Okay.
So I mean, they're basically saying they're kind of guilting you into it here. Yes, honor code.
That's a good way. That's a good way to describe it, right?
So I mean, the people that are playing these games, I feel like, kind of on the older side, our age-ish.
GOG has modern games on too, right?
Yeah, I mean, they have Cyberpunk pre-order on there.
That's because they're owned by CD Projekt Red. Sorry, I was waiting for that.
All right. So
did you know?
Yeah. So I mean, the big controversy here is that they don't have DRM protection on their stuff. So,
Okay.
I mean,
so you could
technically, if you wanted to,
buy it and keep it.
you could buy it, copy it, return it, and keep playing it.
How do you return it then? You just say, "I promise I deleted
Then
it."
that's basically what it would have to be.
Because I mean, I haven't. I like GOG. I think it's a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
The last game I bought on GOG was Return to Zork, the entire
Really?
anthology. I love Return to Zork. Yeah.
That's surprising.
Zork,
to me,
Zork Nemesis. There's another one. I love those games.
You're giving me crap for playing Riven.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah. It's like, who is the boss of you? Me. I'm the boss of you. Anyway, that's for old people. And I played them,
Yeah.
but I haven't bought anything new off there.
Here's the thing. Like, what happened there that they feel like they needed to do this? Like, I don't even feel like there's a call to action or like a big uproar on Twitter of like, what do you think the reasoning was behind this?
I think they're just. I think that they're. That's a great question. My guess is that they're looking for a way to differentiate themselves because of how many
Game
different
clients there are.
launchers and companies are on the market selling games.
Makes sense.
And I think that that's straight up legit. And honestly, think about it. If you buy a physical object, and I know computer games and software in general isn't treated the same way because it's an intellectual property versus a physical object, but if my phone sucks, I can take it back to the Apple store and be like, it's been 15 days, 20 days.
Yeah, exactly.
It sucks.
Time frame.
Take it back. Give me the money, right? And so I think that they're basically extending the same sort of like system, but it is complicated because there is no DRM, like you said, and you can keep those things, and people will abuse the system.
Yeah, like Diagon says, GTA 5, Steam only has a 14-day return policy.
I thought, will Steam let you return if you played it?
I think it's a certain amount of time.
Yeah, that's what I thought,
Steam.
because I
can't remember
think
what, though.
what game was that we played that sucked and I returned it and they said no, you can't. Or was that you? I think you did. You tried to return a game
What?
that sucked.
I never rage quit and try to return games.
This game sucks. I want my money back. And they're like, sorry, you put 5 hours into it. It's clearly you could have just.
Oh God, what was that?
Well, Dagon says it's a 2-hour limit, so there you go.
Oofta.
2-hour limit. That's nothing.
That is nothing.
Especially if you're angry at a game and you're just trying to figure it out.
Sure.
You just have to get to that, hour and 59-minute window. Be like, that's it, I'm done, quit. But I think that's cool. I think that's legit, and it's a bigger reason to support GOG, right?
Yeah.
Honestly.
Speaking of DRM free, remember when like older games had their own kind of pre DRM stuff? They're like, okay, my example is Star Trek. There's a Star Trek game that the DRM was you had to have
Here we go with the Star Trek game again. I remember this one.
Yeah, you have to have, like, it came with an instruction booklet. Remember games had instruction booklets, and they were thick. And the Star Trek game came with, you know, a manual like this, and had a star map. And you would warp to certain, you know, galaxies or planets.
Okay.
And if you didn't choose the correct one, you get killed by Klingons randomly. So, like, their version of DRM was if you didn't buy the game,
you wouldn't know how to
come
get
with the instruction booklet. You know, unless there's a thing called a copier machine.
Yeah,
but your friends would, you know, Xerox a copy for you. But what other games have? I know other games have stuff like that.
I'm gonna say I think that the statute of limitations has passed. I distinctly remember as a kid having games that came, especially when the full motion video became a thing.
Yeah.
And you get a game and it had like 6 CDs in the box.
Yes.
And you had to have the first CD in the thing, and you'd have to switch to a different CD to watch the cinematic, and they'd be like, "Please insert disc 1 again, so we can prove that you actually have the game." I would like find cracks on the interwebs. That was back when you could download a crack and not worry about somebody trying to hack your machine because there was no real.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing in it for them. So you just install the crack, the game worked, it was good. Yeah, you know, SWAT 2. Yeah, exactly. Those games, those are, you know, Phantasmagoria. Is that setting my age here?
Yes.
Does anyone even know what Phantasmagoria was? No? Okay, look it up. It's not worth playing. Anyway, so, but GOG doesn't carry new games, does it?
Yeah, they do.
They do?
They do. I mean, they have to agree to be DRM free. That's the big.
Well, so that kind of kills it.
Rich is going to GOG right now.
I'm going to GOG right now, and
it can't be reached. Apparently, we're not even streaming right now. We haven't an internet for a half an hour. How long have we been talking? Oh boy. All right, let's go to the next topic. Let's just go to the next topic.
Moving on.
GOG's down already. GOG.
We're not in
Breaking
business.
news: GOG is bankrupt.
CD Projekt Red's not going to get that game out. That's going to say. They jumped the shark already. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Me too.
You're going to buy it?
Yeah, I'm totally going to get it.
I'm not going to buy it.
I mean, I think there's too much hype. It's going to be a horrible game solely because of that.
Did you hear that? The prognosticator in chief here, John,
Just
says
because
that,
anytime I look forward to a game is horrible.
How about any time that they make a graphics card that's painted that says the game's name on it? It's horrible.
We've already been on the air for half an hour. Let's go to the next
topic. Okay.
Let's move on.
All right, let's talk about some serious stuff. This was actually big news, and I wanted to talk about this as interesting.
Okay.
So this kind of bubbled up because this whole situation of in 2018, there was a guy driving his Tesla Model X in California, and he died in a car wreck, right?
Right.
And his family blamed Tesla. They blamed that they basically blamed everybody but the guy. So the NTSB gets involved because it's a big wreck and it's a big deal. And Tesla was in fact responsible for it, and they know exactly why. Mm-hmm. But they weren't just like Tesla's, endpoint. Tesla is the reason. Period.
Right.
They came back with a bunch of things. So let's talk about what the Tesla did. Okay.
Okay.
Tesla doesn't have anything but cameras for watching the roads. That's what it uses for its autopilot, right? A lot of manufacturers are working really hard on LiDAR.
Right.
As a way to try to map the surroundings. Tesla, Elon Musk has always come out and said, no, cameras are good enough. They also have sonar in the bumpers, and they've also got radar for distance control and that kind of stuff, and emergency collision avoidance. This guy's tooling down the freeway in California. Mm-hmm. The car loses track of the lines on the road.
And it should warn him.
It might have, but the lanes were gone. And the car then reacquired basically the lane that was to the off-ramp that he was passing, and the car decided to follow that. It thought that was the far right lane.
Okay,
and it ran right off the road and slammed into basically what they call it's got a name. It's got
or some sort.
Yeah, it's like a crash avoidance. It's
those big barrels.
Yeah, we have barrels. Some places have like the accordion things. I wrote it down here. Why can't I read my thing?
Regardless, I wouldn't want to do that.
Anyway, yeah. So they came back and said, yeah, they must have one heck of a a black box in those things, because they have the video of where the Tesla autopilot lost the things, reacquired, and started driving that distance, right? Caltrans, which is the California Department of Transportation, didn't fix the road. They didn't fix that part there, and they didn't replace that crash absorption area. Okay. They had been crashing with a separate person. If that had been fixed, the guy wouldn't have died because it would just absorb the crash.
Yeah.
And the dude was playing a mobile game on his cell phone. And so they came out and they said, Tesla's autopilot is not safe. It did this thing.
Okay.
Caltrans should have fixed that barrier, and Apple, who's the company the guy worked for, should have had a distracted driving policy because he was playing a mobile game on his Apple-provided work cell phone. They were basically like, it's your fault, and your fault, and your fault, and he's dead. But I thought it was fascinating because, I've got a car that's got some of those, like...
Driver assistance.
Yeah, driver assistant features. Yeah. I'm not going to call them self-driving because it's 2020. The thing doesn't drive itself. I've seen many times where I was like, oh, I lost the lane. Oh, let's take this one. Right? Yeah. And that's why you got to hold on to it. The NTSB totally attacked Tesla over you're not making the system safe. You're not forcing people to hold on to the steering wheel long enough. You're not doing these things.
Which I think is mainly in Europe. Like, you have to have your hand on the steering wheel every couple seconds.
Well, that's what my car does. Like, if I don't touch it, it gets mad.
Yeah.
But if I just I hang my hand on the steering wheel, it's like, oh, that's good. That's
good. I can just have my hands off the steering wheel all the time with my car.
You can, but it doesn't drive itself.
Yeah, exactly.
I can just go down hands.
Yeah.
I just take my hands off the wheel, close my eyes, lean back, chair. What's going to happen?
That's Jeep's problem.
Yeah, that's
my wife can sue them.
The Jeep didn't self-drive. Like, oh, ma'am, your Jeep doesn't actually have that. None of our Chrysler products do.
Like, oh. I wouldn't trust Chrysler. Oh, yeah, okay.
But
anywho, let's change that.
Yeah. And Digon's right. It is basically the driver's fault.
Yep.
In the long and short, you can blame the manufacturer all you want, but it wasn't like a mechanical failure. These systems are not guaranteed for that. I don't want to crap on the dude because he's dead, but the guy should have been paying attention.
You think?
Right? There's something it tells me that if I had right, well, I mean it's basically a glorified cruise control, all right? So, but it's still with cruise control, you still need to pay attention.
Do you?
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
Cruise control. That's just.
It controls the speed of the car. It doesn't control what's going on.
I feel like this is more of a marketing thing. I would say this is a marketing thing on Tesla if it wasn't for them suing Apple in California.
Who is?
This family.
Oh, they're not suing Apple. I think they're trying to sue Tesla.
I thought you said they were suing all three.
No. They're not suing all three. The NTSB is the one who said these are all the people who are responsible, and here's why.
Okay.
And it's a situation where you get it's a perfect storm. Typically, when bad stuff happens in life, it's not just one thing. That's Hollywood, where you're like, oh, we're in this boat, and all of a sudden there's a lightning strike, and the boat splits in half, and it's the lightning. This is one thing. It's like, no, it's the fact you didn't fix this boat, and it's like there's all these. In real life, there's this cascade of issues that happens, and this was a perfect storm of cascading. Bad road, bad repair process, because American roads are kind of terrible anyway. Let's be honest, right? Dude was on his cell phone playing video games, and I mean, what do you get? What do you expect? This isn't the first time somebody's died not paying attention to Tesla, though. I mean, there's one guy who was watching videos on his Tesla and died because he ran into the back of a semi.
Well, I've seen all those pictures on Reddit of people reading and stuff.
There was a video on YouTube where someone was driving in a normal car, and there was a Tesla driving by them, and the person was sleeping.
Yeah, I've seen that video.
They're just like that. And
I think the guy actually got charged.
He should.
Yeah.
I think then there was another story I read about in California again, where the cops had to box in the Tesla
to slow it down.
Yeah, because if you just get in front of the Tesla and you slow down, the Tesla will turn its blinker on and pass you. And I'm like, well, what are you gonna do? You basically have to have 3 cop cars to stop a Tesla in that case, because
this cop's gone way too slow for
me.
Yeah,
it's nuts. Anyway, long story short, that was the situation. Fascinating. Totally see that happen.
Next topic. Wow. Segue. Segue into
crashing smart. Yeah.
All right. So PAX East, they showed a lot more details of Baldur's Gate 3 today.
Okay.
Who is actually being made by Larian Studios, who have made Divinity Original Sin. You were playing Divinity Sin 2. I know you weren't very impressed by that game.
My wife dug the Divinity series. We played it for a little while.
A little while.
Yeah, it was fine. It was like a ripoff of Diablo.
Except turn-based, right?
Yeah, it was turn-based.
Yeah. All right, so they're working on Baldur's Gate 3. They're saying this is actually going to have 100 hours of playtime.
Okay.
Which is pretty decent.
That's a lot of
accurate.
hours.
It's going to be based on D&D 5th edition. It's going to have 6 classes. It's going to be turn-based, entirely turn-based. There are some rumors of it being you could toggle between it being Diablo-style or turn-based.
I vote for Diablo-style.
Turn-based. Boom.
John's wrong.
All right. So instead of following a character-by-character turn order, it's actually going to be group-based, so enemy versus you, so kind of like XCOM, which I don't think you've ever actually...
I never played XCOM.
Great game. All right. So going to be Steam Early Access and Google Stadia, which is kind of interesting.
Is it free in Google Stadia? or do I have to buy it?
I'm sure you have to buy it because it's Google.
Because I don't want to do that.
Yeah,
because
he's
Google's.
poking at
Oh,
Google.
by the way, they got like an extra month because I didn't turn it off fast enough. I forgot about it, and then like, thank you for buying Google Stadia your next month. I'm like, no. So I made a mistake.
So they showed some pre-alpha footage today, which honestly, let's go through some pictures here.
Okay, these are the pictures.
This doesn't look like pre-alpha. Like it looks like it's about ready to go.
I don't know. That guy's horns look very pre-alpha. Are his wings attached to the horns, or are they just like they're coming out the backside there?
Okay, it's pre-alpha. So, but they showed some cool footage today, like the dialogue and stuff. Like you can choose different classes, and one of them's like a vampire. And the dialogue on the
vampire.
Yeah, that's the vampire. So some of the dialogue
is
like,
sparkles.
do you like kind of like restrain yourself and not eat what could be a potential ally?
Mm-hmm.
You know, they didn't choose that dialogue option, so you didn't get to see it. But I'm hopeful for this still. I was pretty excited. Seeing the footage today, it kind of looked like Divinity Original Sin 3.
Mm-hmm.
But we will see. Do I have the trailer on here?
You do have the trailer. Would you like to play the trailer?
Let's just check out the trailer.
I think the trailer's right here.
Boom. All right.
Larian
So
Studios.
I think this has got some potential. I'm trying not to give up hope on this. I think it looks good, but
Can you narrate this for me? In a world
well, right now it'd just be music.
where
This
there's
would be the subtitles part is music with a little like.
in a world with a bunch of red stuff and black. Is that an altar? It looks like an altar.
Just stop.
It's a world. Oh, there's a door and a guy.
All right. So basically, the way that this starts
And he
is
floats.
these guys put what they're calling tadpoles in your eye, and they're eventually going to turn you into bad guys, and so you're kind of on the hunt to get a cure for the I know. Okay, let's just stop.
Tadpoles? No, go on. Tell me about the eye tadpoles.
This is such a long trailer. It's like a 4-minute long trailer. I should have cut this in before I put the live show.
Do we need a fast forward button? So what is he doing? Is this the tadpole opener?
Yes, this is like Aliens, but
Alien tadpoles. Do they force people's faces next to them? They're like,
well, this could be.
Those don't look like tadpoles. Those look like something else. Tadpoles.
Oh, no.
No!
Oh, no.
Don't put a tadpole in my eye.
Here we go. It's kind of like Star Trek. Was it 5? Weird. 4.
If they're tadpoles, they move like inchworms. Is that an orc? Did Blizzard?
Blizzard. No.
Okay.
Here we go. Well, that's a friendly little guy.
Is it gonna? It's as big as her eye.
Okay.
Okay.
Tadpole in her eye.
That I'm nauseous now. Okay.
Anywho, I think this game looks like it's gonna be pretty cool.
Okay.
I'm hopeful for it. Here I am talking about just watching the trailer. I kind of want to play it after I was just saying.
He looks like a Cthulhu sort of guy, right? With his little spermy guy there with the
little spermy guy.
Jumps in here. Okay. All right.
Boy.
So that's happening, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the trailer keeps going and going.
It just keeps. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and jump off that trailer.
Okay. I'm sorry. I should have edited this before we went live.
Yeah.
Show the highlights.
All right. There are a lot of people who love Baldur's Gate. I know this. I personally know at least you and other. Yeah, the trailer's neat, but will the game actually play out? So, have you watched any of the live footage from PAX East?
I watched like a half an hour worth this afternoon, and I'll probably watch the rest after the live show. But it was kind of neat because they showed the dice actually rolling on the screen, like even with the dialogue options, which is pretty cool. I thought that was a nice touch.
Yeah, that's cool.
You play like the kind of the joke with XCOM is. It'll give you a 95% chance to like snipe this guy, and then you miss, and then your whole team dies. So I don't know, something about like actually seeing the dice on the screen before your whole team gets obliterated from missing a 95% shot.
You know, the computer already knows what the number is.
Well, it does, but there's something satisfying about seeing
I believe
this
is
piece
fair.
of plastic roll around on your screen.
What they need to do is they need to have like some sort of like dice that you can roll on your own, and it like reads it. So then you roll your own dice.
That feels like a very 90s gimmick. It's
what?
Like a little 90s. This
Come
is like
on,
the
that's
Power
great.
Glove
Who? Yeah,
with dice.
I think that it.
All right. That's all I got for Baldur's Gate 3. I'm looking forward to seeing more from those guys. We'll see what happens.
I think it's a neat idea, and I'm gonna say that there should be a D&D game where you roll your own dice and it happens on the screen.
Make it. Let's do it.
Someone's already done it, I'm sure. Oh, and I got a skateboarding dog story for you, John, and it's this right here. So, what you're looking at is peanut butter, and no, it's not a typo. First off, John, do you say...
Yes, I say GIF, like everyone else on the internet.
All right, before we go any further, if you're watching this, is it GIF or GIF? That's what I want to know. Because if you say GIF,
How are they going to type that out?
Double G.
No, they can be like a cap. No, you just spell it like it is. GIF or GIF. You just, I know that.
The question is, how is Jif peanut butter actually
Hard
said?
G. Okay, Diagon can stay. He can stay.
Let's just alienate our small viewership already.
I think that this is the thing that separates the men from the boys. I'm just saying. It's
Or rich for everyone.
Yeah.
Get off my lawn. Get off my lawn, you darn kids. I know. Anyway, so let's talk about this skateboarding dog story, which is skateboarding John story. We need an animated skateboarding John to go across the screen.
No.
It can be like and say yes on it. Anyway,
Nobody make that.
somebody make that, please. I don't have the skills to make that. I can barely put my clothes on. So anyway, Giphy is a company that provides animated GIFs. That you see them actually, in your phone. You can get them in like Microsoft Teams, places like that. They have connections to this website. You can load them in. Just search strings. There it is, right? They're doing a promotion with the peanut butter company of J.M. Smucker.
This is unbelievable.
And they are
Oh,
doing...
they even have a hashtag. GIF versus GIF.
Yeah. This is a real thing. You can buy this. You can try to buy it on Amazon. But they're already sold out because, of course, he doesn't want this.
This is unintended consequence of food waste. No one's going to buy GIF. They're all going to buy GIF now. GIF will go bankrupt in a month. And this is what happens when you fight with the internet.
I just want to say you could buy the GIF and you could print out your own label and put it on there that said GIF.
It's too much effort.
Really? I don't know. Anyway, so it's kind of funny. I mean, it's just marketing gimmick stuff, right? It's like, hey, Giphy and the GIF company, GIF, get it? Did you know the guy who invented the GIF? It hurt me to say that. The GIF. His name is Steve Wilhite, right? Mm-hmm. He was awarded a Webby, like in 2018, something like that. And when they invited him up to receive his trophy, the announcer says, in lieu of making a speech, Steve has created an animated GIF, right? And all it says is it's pronounced GIF. That's it. And I thought it was awesome. I didn't see that, but I mean, it was like, but it's GIF. I mean, it is. Because G for graphics, not Jaffix.
I like it.
Anyway, everyone left a long time ago when we were talking
to ourselves now.
It's-
Brandon, how you doing tonight?
Well,
Glad you're still with
Paul's
us.
here, and I appreciate that. Everyone else is like, man, when they talked about that Tesla
Paul
crashing
left
into a
after
Jersey
he said
barrier,
hard G.
he's like, hard G, I'm out, right?
Hard G.
Yeah, so you can buy yourself one of those. I was going to make you taste different types of peanut butter, but I didn't have time to go to the store and buy them.
If they even have them.
They don't.
They're
no.
all sold out.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
GIF's the only thing on the shelf now.
Which is typically. By the way, crunchy or creamy?
Creamy.
Crunchy.
Creamy.
Crunchy peanut butter and like extra crunchy peanut butter, where it's like, I don't know, 75% peanuts and 25% peanut smush. That's the word I'm going to use for that. That's
Well, thanks for watching. I am John. This is Rich.
Oh, yeah,
we
look,
are
here.
primarily
Okay,
a
he
YouTube
wants to-
channel.
it's I don't know. I think the crunchy peanut butter is better. I'm just gonna put that out there. Extra crunchy peanut butter. Would you like to close
Yeah,
the show?
help me out here. So we have a Patreon at
Okay.
You Guys Tech. You guys should check it out. We got a few this evening. We have Jamie, Mitchell, and Victor. So thank you to you guys. You really do help us out. We are putting that money to good use to blow things up, test things, just
Build things. Eat
Work
extra
on our
crunchy
channel.
peanut butter.
You could have like peanut butter with one of our Patreon's names on it. That would go over real well. We used your money to buy a jar of peanut butter as a prop.
No, I would eat it.
Okay.
I would eat it and then I'd like make the inside look like it was fake so that it was empty. Movie magic, John.
You could put a green screen on top.
Movie magic.
Green peanut butter.
All right, John, talk about the swag.
Alright, we got some swag this evening. We are both wearing some. Alright, I got the one with Rich and myself on it. Got the original logo on Rich's sweatshirt there.
Yep.
And I have a lady in my face who I can't even see our logo on her, by the way.
Yeah, she's just her eyes are piercing.
She is there just to spite me. That is it.
You could just scoot closer to me. It'd be okay.
We have just a random person with a black shirt is what that is.
Yeah, I should actually maybe just put. Anyway, whatever. It doesn't matter. We're getting some more designs. I tell you, we're going to get some more designs made.
We're working on it.
They're not exactly like YouTube, like they have our logos on it because that's a little overdone at this point. So that's cool. Look for those. John, this is YouTube.
We're on YouTube. You're watching us on YouTube, so watch us on YouTube. Good job.
Good job. Congratulations.
You made it here.
Thank you.
Just ignore the rest of YouTube's. This is all YouTube is. It's just
One
two
design per
guys
follower.
talking.
You know what, Matt? If that was
So
the case,
we already have 3 designs. So it's you,
There you go.
Diagon, and Jamie. We're good to go.
Yeah. I'll say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
for
you,
watching.
John.
We appreciate all you guys. Joking aside, we know you're more of you out there. We do appreciate you. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. See you again next week. Right, John?
Yes.
All right.
Have a good night.
We're out.